good to get the guys back in here and going. This phase 3 is, again, this is a voluntary camp. We've had great attendance throughout the phase 2 and phase 3 periods here. So we've got a couple people that are under the weather, so we were short a couple guys today, but that's for the most part, it's been very good. And I'm not going to get into injuries and all of that bit, but I've been pleased with what I've seen from the guys and the effort they're giving forward. The young guys have been working their tail off, and we've been loading them up with stuff, and they've seemed to be able to retain it, which is a positive. So, anyways, that's time's yours.
Because when you talk about it, because that was going to be my question. What exactly are you looking for when you're out there, especially with the young players and new players in, talking about the information and the retention? Are you pleased with what you've seen so far?
Yeah, so some of it is a retention part of it. And then you get a chance to see skill. Now, normally they're kind of crawling before they walk and walk before they run. They're in that phase, so they're might not be as fast as what you're going to see once you get to camp and as you work your way through camp. But still, they're doing a nice job of it for the most part. Yeah.
Coach, earlier in the week, we were able to see Rashidi. I guess just what were your impressions of what he's been able to do so far during this?
Yeah, he's actually one of the guys under the weather. So I've kept him at home here. So, but in phase 2 he was great. He just wasn't able to go this week, so kept him out away from the guys.
Coach, you mentioned throwing before. You're throwing the young guys in there just seeing how they respond. Do you throw as much at them as possible, or you kind of just build it up?
Yeah, we go. We go and expect them to, get on top of it. And normally what you're doing, it's a little bit like camp where you're installing plays today, and then we ask them to go execute those plays. We try not to back up and go over the plays we installed yesterday. But at the same time, if you're not doing your stuff at home before you get into the install meetings and reviewing, then you're going to have a problem once you get out there. So it looks like these guys are taking, and there's a method to that madness, so they have to go home and develop some study habits with that. And they seem to be doing a good job of it.
A lot of moving pieces at wide receiver. What are you hoping to see out of a guy like Sky Moore before the pads come on in camp?
Sure. Yeah, just getting back in the swing of things, but he looks like he's doing a good job, so he's moving around pretty good. He's been accurate with everything and sharp kid.
How has Josh Simmons kind of come along with his injury and how he's retaining stuff?
Yeah, so he's one that didn't work this week, but he's been doing everything up to that point. He's actually further ahead than I thought he was, and we might actually be able to get. Originally, we weren't going to have him in the phase 3 part at all, other than the individual stuff. So we kept him out of the team stuff with that, but he did all of phase 2. He's done a good job of what we've seen. We just got to get him in with the defense against him. So.
And as you build it with Xavier Worthy, last year you built him along the season and sort of learned more plays and more roles within the offense. What do you see different when he comes in this year now?
Yeah, well, you can move him around a little bit more. So he's a smart kid. It gives you a little flexibility there to not just line him up in a spot. But we started doing that towards the end of the year, and we'll keep moving with that part. And then, he knows all the stuff. So he can play fast and not do quite as much thinking.
Andy, what do you see from Isaiah Pacheco?
Yeah, he looks good. Physically, he looks real good. He's put on a couple pounds and of good weight. He'd gotten himself down there a little bit last year and leaned up. But man, I think he looks tremendous right now.
Andy, with the veterans out there like Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes, and those guys, how have you seen them evolve into the leaders with these young guys in these type of periods where it's voluntary, but it's still good to see them show up and try to help these young guys?
Yeah, sure. We've had all the veteran guys here, all the good leaders have been here, and it's good to have them there. When they're there, there's a certain energy that comes with it, expectations from all the either new guys or free agent type or the college kids. So they set a tempo with that. Yeah.
Kingsley with the position switch, I guess just how is he been coming along and what makes him maybe a better fit for that inside position?
Yeah, so we moved him there for that second Denver game. So I mentioned that was one of the positives, one of the only positives that came out of that game. So I thought he did a nice job there, and so we're moving him in there. And listen, Spags runs a million different looks, so this is the best thing for him to get in there and have a bunch of things thrown at him, and he's doing a nice job so far. So.
Do you consider that an open competition still for left guard? Do you want to see what Kingsley can bring?
Yeah. So he and Caliendo are working there and doing that. Yeah.
You mentioned you get to see Jalen Moore at left tackle, for the first time. What's the impressions there early? So
Yeah, strong kid. Looks he's smart, but you can tell he's compact and strong. It looks like to me, without going live. It's hard to do the O-line, D-line because they just get to a contact point and they kind of pull off and do their thing. But he's he looks like he's a strong kid.
Todd,
And he's
Coach,
definitely smart. He's a sharp kid.
Coach, I don't think we've talked to you about the schedule since it came out, since it was after rookie minicamp. Your thoughts? You're going to Brazil. You got Christmas again. Is it? How's it lay out for you guys?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's quite a tour.
You don't have one of those really. You had that really tight stretch near the end last year, which was a real challenge, I know. But is this a little more spread out? I guess.
Yeah, no, look, you're playing all the teams. It doesn't matter where you're playing them. You got to play these guys, and they're doing the same thing we're doing and playing on the same days we are. So we got to get ourselves ready and go. You've only got so many weeks you can play, and you want to make sure you take advantage of that. So I don't get caught up in all that. Whenever and whatever goes, we go.
Herbie? Coach, you mentioned earlier that you saw Josh Simmons as further ahead than what you expected. Granted, there's still time before training camp, but how much is that projection he will be ready for the start? Or I know you want to play it safe.
Yeah, no, I think for sure for camp, we might be able to get something out of him in the team periods in phase 3 here. So that's a positive. We weren't expecting to be able to do that, but he's really done a good job with his rehab stuff, and the doctor that did his surgery did a nice job. So.
Coach, you've had Justin Ross for a couple of years now. Where does he fit in the wide receiver room?
Yeah, as long as he stays healthy and he's out there, that's a plus. I mean, he competes. I mean, you could argue that he had one of the best camps last year, and it's just a matter of keeping him upright and trying to work him in that mix of guys. But he's a big receiver that has got real good hands and has done a nice job for us.
the last one, Matt.
Coach, what's the importance of rotating guys this time of year to really see what you have?
Yeah, I probably should have mentioned that earlier, that we're moving guys all over the place. So whether it's the young receivers, whether it's the DBs, linebackers, so we're just kind of fitting pieces in there like we normally do during the preseason time. So in the offensive line, like I said, we're moving those guys all over too. So it's that pays off for you, I think, once you get going here. Try to find the best people for those positions, what they do the best.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Okay, good, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.